And we are live, and welcome to another amazing and wonderful conversation. When I say wonderful, because I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm really excited to get to have a conversation with the beautiful Beatrice Boots all the way from Perth in Australia, who is one of our facilitators of a masterclass for HarmonyFest. And Beatrice, can I just say a couple of things? First of all, I'm really honoured to talk to you. Really honoured. And I'm really excited because HarmonyFest is only 6 days away and your masterclass is in 8 days.
That's correct.
8 days, which
on
is
Friday in Australia, right?
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Wonderful. And
Friday
I'm told from our astrologer that Friday the 13th in October is a very powerful and special day. So I'm looking forward to your masterclass.
I intuitively chose it. So
really?
Yes.
Good. Well, which is a wonderful thing because your masterclass is tap into your intuition for clarity and direction. And this is a wonderful topic to talk about. You know, your intuition. I think, you know, the majority of the world would have heard about intuition, but I don't know if everyone knows exactly what it is and how to use it and how to tap into it. So thank you. Thank you for bringing this masterclass to Sacred You, the HarmonyFest, and the world. So can we just ask, well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into intuition and developing a masterclass all about it?
Okay, so I am Beatrice Boots. I'm originally from the Netherlands and I have been living in Perth, Western Australia for the last 5 years. And I am an intuitive business coach. So that came, of course, from somewhere. It's not a traditional business coach, but it's kind of bridging spiritual work and inner work with the tangible and more practical side of running a business. And how I basically became an intuitive business coach was because of quite a sad story. I was a very traumatic story. I had a travel business and I was bringing beautiful women to Paris to fall back in love with themselves. I have a creative background, photography and writing. And from that, I started a travel business after doing lots of travel writing. And on one of my trips, an amazing, talented young woman and who was a friend and a colleague, she took her own life. And that was the night I arrived to stay with her in her house and also to do the tour that was going to happen a few days later. And this was, as you can imagine, a very traumatic event. And when that happened, I went into a state of shock and I needed lots and lots and lots of healing. It was a healing journey back to myself and also back to my body. And probably most likely it was the first time I really incarnated in my body. So because from a young child, I was super intuitive, very highly sensitive, and I didn't feel I was belonging in this world. And because I didn't feel I was belonging, what happens, and maybe other people relate to this, that you go out of your body because, you know, the higher chakras in highly sensitive people are very, very well developed. But the lower chakras and basically the contact with the body is often not so well developed. And this is what happened to me because from childhood, I had been guiding people who passed over on their journeys. And that was just a talent I had. And I didn't always want it to be that way, but it just was what it was. And I did it. It probably was brought over from another life. And when this happened, this traumatic event with Angelique, my friend, I basically started to almost leave my own body myself. And my husband had to call me back and say, you have to go to the doctor because you're not here. And that's when I found myself on a huge crossroad where I was realizing that I was not fully myself, that I was not embracing my gift. I didn't see my worth. I didn't even want to be in my body, to be honest. And that's when I came back to my body, and that's when I realized how important intuition is and how little is known about how much the body is important to tap into your intuition. So it's often thought that it's all happening up there, and it's like with the inner guides and it's with spirit guides, and all of that is very important. But the body is where we live on this planet. So that's where I decided, okay, I am going to take a completely different turn, because I had natural gifts and talents I was a healer already anyway. I was healing everybody around me already anyway for free. And then I realized, okay, to make a living for myself, but also to really transmit my gifts to the world, I have to put intuition into the forefront of everything I do.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that story. And I can feel how that experience that you had would have been very traumatic, and now that it's brought you to where you are now. So I just want to take just a moment just to honor you for sharing that. And, really, 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 it takes someone strong to go through that and recover and be who you are now. So thank you for sharing that. Can I ask you, Beatrice, let's talk a little bit about intuition, and what is, to you, what it actually is in intuition? How do you actually define it, and why is it an essential part of our life for personal growth?
I think it certainly is an essential part of our life for personal growth, and it's so denied by society, and that's, it's not honored, it's not seen. It's specifically in the business world, but also in general. As a child, I was told I was naive. I was, you get told all of those things, and I'm sure that many relate to this. You get told all of those things, that you can't listen to your heart. It's naive. You can't rely on it. You have to use your head, and all of those things. So it's very vital that there is a shift happening in society, I feel, and that is, my big passion to make people aware that they actually have this gift inside of them, but they're not using it anymore. The muscle of using your intuition is not trained. So it needs to be retrained, because we all have it naturally, but it needs to be retrained. And what intuition is, to come back to your first question, is quite a tricky one to describe. It's not very tangible. It's quite difficult to describe it. It is, in my opinion, this inner knowing, this inner sensing, this inner feeling to know if something is right or if something isn't right for you. And if you tap into your intuition, you align with who you are. But it's not very easy to define, but it's the easiest for me to describe it is that there's three parts of it. So there is the head, which is mainly the third eye, which connects you with your visions. And then there is the heart, that is the soul chamber, basically. It's the soul chamber, and you can get access to your soul's wisdom by tuning into the heart. And then there is the hara, which is in the belly, and that's the center of creation, the center of your creation, your power. But the whole of your body, with all of your senses, are part of your intuition as well. That's how I would describe it, I think.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. And I love to agree with you and things like that. And it's certainly a very big part, an important part in our life, is to be able to know our intuition and to tap into it. And I really believe personally that life becomes so much easier when we just trust. our intuition and get out of our head and follow that inner knowing, that intuition. Can you let's talk a little bit about your workshop, your masterclass. So what can people expect when they attend it?
Okay, so they are getting information about what intuition is, but they're also getting an experience. So I will do, it's interactive. So they will receive little nuggets of gold by me transmitting exercises that will be able for people. You will be able to feel what I'm talking about. So rather than only talking about it, but it's also about understanding what intuition is, and also about understanding how it relates to business, because this bridge is quite complicated. It's this intuition for life, like you feel like something is not right, you shouldn't be around that person is not good for you, or you're in danger, or something like that. It's your intuition you need for your life, which is also vitally important, of course. But then there is, and you have to start there, but then there is this part where intuition in business, how does that work?
Yeah, sorry, little bit of noise in the background. Yeah. Sorry about that. So, and thank you for sharing that. Now, your masterclass, I'm just bringing it up again, is actually on Thursday, October the 12th, for everyone who's listening in the US and Canada, and here early in the morning. But here in Australia, it's Friday, October the 13th. In Sydney time, it's 5:45 in the evening, but in Perth time, it will be 2:45.
Is it 2 or 3:45?
2:45.
2:45, yes.
2:45 for you, and 5:45 for anyone who's on the East Coast, 2:45 for those people in the West Coast. So definitely looking forward to that. Do click on the links below this video. For everyone who's watching a live or replay, do click on the links to check out more about Beatrice's workshop, because it's offered at a wonderful price. So only 30 Australian dollars. And for everyone who is a member, a Sacred You Tribe member, thank you, Beatrice, so much for offering a discount. It's only 20 Australian dollars. Oh my God, $20 to learn how to tap into our intuition for clarity and direction. Definitely looking forward to that. And can I ask you, Beatrice, can you provide, going into more about intuition, can you provide any more insights into the relationship between intuition and finding our direction?
Yeah, the relation between those two. Yes,
Yes.
I feel that our talents and gifts are part of that transition between tapping into your intuition in life, and then knowing who you are, what you're best at, what you're here to bring to the world, what you're here to serve to the world, and also being in your zone of genius, because we all have a zone of genius, and our zone of genius is often you don't know what it is because it comes so natural to you, and that is why it's quite difficult to figure that out. And I have tools to figure out. I do work with my clients where we figure out what your zone of genius is, because once you tap into your zone of genius and you start using that, and you value your zone of genius, that's where the real energy work comes in, is that when you really value it, then your life can magically change, because we have so many limiting beliefs. And that's another thing that I do with clients, is shifting energy. So it's like we look into a limiting belief and feel where it's located in the body, and then I bring in frequencies, codes to change those limiting beliefs and to change actually everything in your energy fields. And the zone of genius, to come back to that, is often where we actually lack worthiness around that, because it's so natural for us. And also we're often told, don't be so this, that, or the other as children. But that's exactly so. For instance, I was told, don't be so sensitive. And that's exactly my gift. So, and that's, this is not the depth of my gift, but it's kind of to give you an indication of how your zone of genius can work for you instead of against you. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. Absolutely. And I said, we're looking forward to getting to know you more through your masterclass and stuff, and experiencing the times of when you're sharing your gifts. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And talking about your gifts, can I ask you, your gifts, what would you consider your superpower is?
Okay, so my superpower, first of all, let me think. I did have to. Sorry about that. This is not very spontaneous.
It's okay.
Yes, because I had something that I thought was really important to share. So basically, I feel like one of my superpowers is to link all the dots and lines in somebody's life to help soul clients to uncover their core talents and gifts and their zone of genius. So it's basically this non-linear thinking, which, I'm a visionary, a non-linear thinker. And I can, when I hear a life story, I can just put all of those dots together and give people the eagle view instead of looking in detail at where they are, just looking at the overall view. And another one of my superpowers, I feel, is that I tap into somebody's energy. Yeah. So I tap into their body, and then the body is saying something to them, and I help them intuitively to get to what the body is telling them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it has nothing to do with the body. It might have to do with your life or business or whatever it is. So that's another one of the things that I really love doing, and it's part of my zone of genius.
Wonderful. Wow. Thank you. And love to know more about that one day. I'd love to have you back for another conversation so we can go into that even more, because again, so many times our bodies are trying to tell us something, but we don't listen to them. So
that's right.
Yeah.
And also, of course, I don't do it only for somebody. I also help somebody to do it themselves. Of course, ideally, that's what I want for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to give a big shout out for everyone who's watching us. So we've got a Kiana Maria who's watching us, and she's saying, love this conversation and looking forward to the masterclass. Totally ditto to you, Kiana. Totally agree with you. Do click on the links and book in soon. I think it's going to be a fantastic masterclass and things. And Beatrice, can I just ask you another question just before we finish up? You've had such an incredible life journey, incredible experiences. I think some of the things that you've gone through is so challenging, and not everyone would go into that such a challenge, into that such trauma. I know a lot of people in the world have traumatic experiences, but that would be something completely different what you shared. But out of all your life and using your intuition now, what are some of the major lessons that you've learned, and how has using your intuition helped you with that?
Okay, so that's a big one. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was a little bit overwhelmed.
So what are some of the lessons that you've learned in your journey, in your such a challenging and traumatic journey that you've had, what are the lessons that has taught you, and have you used your intuition to help you with those lessons?
Okay, so I think that what comes to mind first is that I am worthy, and that I am that I have to. It's almost like I have no choice. Show up as me to help create the new worlds. So it's basically so important for me to do that. It's bigger, much bigger than me. So although I'm sometimes super scared to show up, because I'm also an introvert. So although I'm sometimes really scared to show up, I put myself out there more and more and more and more to be able to transmit my gifts and reach the people that need me. So that is probably what I have learned. That's my biggest lesson. And how did I use my intuition? That was probably by also learning to tap. Yeah, learning to coming back to my gifts, and coming back to learning to use my own intuition as well. So it actually is so natural for me, like it is for many people, but I had to be it's almost like I had to be reprogrammed. So yeah. And the other part of that lesson is that your past doesn't make you so. Whatever, self-forgiveness was also very important. So forgiving myself for my timeline, for taking the time on this planet to live the life I've always followed my heart. So I've forgiven myself for doing things in my own way, basically. That's another part. Forgiveness is a big one, and worthiness and self-love. The same themes as I work with my clients as well.
Yeah, forgiveness and self-love certainly is a very big part. So thank you for sharing that. And for everyone who is watching, do again click on the links below. Book into Beatrice's masterclass very soon. And if you haven't registered for HarmonyFest, again, click on the links and register for HarmonyFest. You'll find out everything that's going on. We've got 4 days of such an experience for this in the spiritual, holistic, and well-being fields. And we've got over 20 masterclasses, including Beatrice's one on tapping into your intuition. We have online readers and over 20 stall holders, virtual stall holders, and you are also a stall holder as well, Beatrice. So thank you. We will be talking about that and promoting your stall too, because you're sharing all your gifts as well. And I just have to again, thank you for being part of HarmonyFest and bringing your gifts to us. Can we leave with one last question? And is there anything else that you would like to share about intuition and about your masterclass that's coming up in about 8 days' time?
Okay, so I think what I want to share is, in general, that inner work is the biggest task that you have in life. So it's not looked upon as important in a way. We always have to do other things first before we do the inner work, right?
Yes.
But the inner work is really where you are going to transform your life with. So taking the time. So basically what I want to share is that we think we need to work hard, but that's when we learn to tap, and you touched on this at the start, when we learn to tap into our intuition in a really easy way, like when it becomes an automatic, natural thing again, then our life transforms to be easy, with flow, joy, and also abundant. So there's lots of abundance coming in when you actually put the work into tapping into your intuition, inner work in general, but intuition also. So I think it's very important to realize that it's not time wasted, because a lot of people, and maybe not when you're here in the HarmonyFest, you realize how important the inner work is, but still your mind chatter might, be really dragging you out of wanting to spend the time, dedicate the time for yourself. But that is a gift to you by also investing some money. That's why I made it paid, because it's important for people to invest some money, even if it's a small amount.
Yes, totally agree.
And when you tap into your intuition, you clear your mind and you have a happy heart, basically. That's what happens. And it's so nice. And I am the living proof of that, because I basically wasn't happy for a long part of my life, because I was overshadowed by a lot of other things. So when you learn to tap into your intuition and honor your feelings as well, because that's part of it, honoring your feelings, then, magic can really happen. And, I live now on two sides of the world, because I also live in Europe part of the time. And my life has magically changed. And when you do the work, when you do the inner work, transformation is, change is possible. It is.
Absolutely, thoroughly agree with you, and thank you for sharing that. And I'd also, like to take a moment to thank you to also being a sponsor for HarmonyFest. And I look forward to chatting with you more about you and about your business and everything else during HarmonyFest. Definitely, absolutely. But right now, for everyone who's watching us, thank you for joining us. Please click on the links below and come and join us for Beatrice's workshop, masterclass on tapping in to our intuition. I'm just checking in the comments and things like that. Absolutely. Come and join us on the 13th of October. Not very far away.
So excited. And you know what? I just want to say also, indeed, the 13th of October is just a portal for transformation in itself.
Yes.
You said it because I'm not an astrologer, but I just know that in general, Friday the 13th is already, they are portals for transformation. So it's a magical day to join me in the masterclass.
Yes.
And you won't regret it.
I absolutely, and I agree. And I'm just really, thank you for using your intuition to pick that date. And yes, we've been told, our astrologer here in Sacred You, when I said we need some dates to hold HarmonyFest, and she said you have to include Friday the 13th in October. She said it's a very, very powerful day. So
totally agree. And also, I intuitively chose to be part of this. When I got this offer, I thought, yes, this is really great. This is this is going to be a magical place in itself. And thank you so much for doing this, because this is really amazing work you're doing. So
thank you. And looking forward to more conversations and seeing you soon.
See you soon, Sophia.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.